it's tough to score against them as well. And they are 3-1 to the under in their last 4 themselves. So with all that in mind, I'm going to purchase the half a point. I'm going to buy it up, and I'm going to lean Memphis +6 and the under 139 in that game. All right, I'm getting a little long-winded here, so let's go ahead and go rapid fire. Next matchup, it is going to be UCLA. It's not on the board, but I have UCLA taking on Notre Dame, 3 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. The Fighting Irish are -6, totals at 138. So a half a point fade of Notre Dame and movement downward on the total. The Irish open 6.5 down to -6. Total open 139 down to 138. 57% are leaning UCLA, 58% shaded toward the under. Notre Dame's dropped 2 out of their last 3 games. They also failed to cover in 5 out of their last 7. UCLA, they rank in the top 15 in defensive rebounding, 2-2 to the under in their last 4. I'm going to lean toward the road dog in this one. Give me the Bruins of UCLA +6 and the under 138 in that contest. Next matchup, Seton Hall taking on Rutgers. We have that on the board. Seton Hall taking on Rutgers, 4 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. The Pirates of Seton Hall, they are the 2.5-point favorite, total at 141 and a hook. We saw a 1-point move towards Seton Hall and movement downward on the total. The Pirates open 1.5 up to -2.5. Total open 143 down to 141 and a hook. 65% are leaning Seton Hall, 64% shaded toward the under. Rutgers, I know they had a big upset earlier in the week, but they still dropped 2 out of their last 3 games. They're shooting just 28% from downtown. Meanwhile, Seton Hall, they rank in the top 40 in the nation in scoring. They're also shooting 38% from downtown, and they are 6-3 against the spread overall for the year. I'm going to purchase the half a point, slide it down, and lean Seton Hall -2 and the over 141.5 in that game. Next matchup, I know we passed it. Xavier taking on Wake Forest. There it is. 4 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that contest there. Xavier is -5, total 143. So a 1.5-point move toward Xavier and movement upward on the total. The Musketeers open 3.5 up to -5. Total open 142 up to 143. 72% are leaning Xavier. 63% shaded toward the over. Now Xavier's 3-0 straight up in their last 3 games. 9-1 straight up overall for the year. They're allowing just 62 points per contest. Their opponents are shooting just 38% from the field. They're also shooting just 27% from downtown. Very difficult to put up points against this Xavier squad. Now, Wake Forest, losers in their last 3 straight. They're allowing 73 points per contest. And when it comes to the total, Xavier 5-0 to the over in their last 5 straight. I'm going to lean Xavier -5 and the over 143 in that contest. Next matchup, Oklahoma taking on the Shockers of Wichita State. That is not on the board, but it is a 6 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. Wichita State, they are the 4.5-point favorite, total at 139. Saw a half a point move toward the Shockers and movement upward on the total. Wichita State open 4 up to -4.5. Total open 138 up to 139 and a hook. 65% are leaning toward, 58% shaded toward the over. Wichita State, they're shooting just 41. Let's try that again. Wichita State shooting just 41% from the field. Meanwhile, Oklahoma 7-1 straight up overall for the year. Marquee wins over Missouri, Oregon State, and Minnesota. When it comes to this total, we're looking at a Shockers team who's 4-2 to the under at home. I'm going to lean toward Oklahoma +5 after buying the hook and the under 139.5 in that contest. Next game, Georgia Bulldogs taking on Arizona State, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that matchup. The Sun Devils are -4.5, total 156 and a hook. Saw a 1.5-point move toward Arizona State and movement upward on the total. The Sun Devils opened as the 3-point favorite up to -4.5. Total open 155.5 up to 156 and a hook. 54% are leaning Sun Devils, 79% shaded toward the over. Georgia's 6-2 straight up overall for the year. They're averaging 86 points per contest, which is good for top 3 in the country. They're shooting 48% from the field, and they rank in the top 25 in offensive rebounding. Now, Arizona State, they failed to cover in 3 out of their last 4. They failed to cover against the likes of Prairie View, UL Lafayette, and Princeton. Total-wise, UGA, 7-1 to the over for the season. I'm going to purchase the half a point, buy it up, and lean Bulldogs +5 in the over 156.5 in that game. And I'm going to slide to my next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Gonzaga taking on Arizona. 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. The Wildcats are the 3.5-point favorite, total at 152. Saw a 1.5-point move toward Arizona. We also saw a 1-point move upward on the total as well. The Wildcats open as the 2-point favorite, up to -3.5. Total open 151, up to 152. 66% are leaning Gonzaga, 53% shaded toward the under. Right now, Gonzaga, 10-1 straight up overall for the year, 4-2 against the spread in their last 6. They're also covering 70% of their games in their last 10. They're ranked the top 5 in scoring, averaging 86 points per contest. They also rank the top 15 in offensive field goal percentage. They're shooting nearly 50% from the field. And to be specific, this Gonzaga squad is shooting 49.93% from the field. This Gonzaga team's also ranking in the top 20 in offensive rebounding. Meanwhile, Arizona on the other side failed to cover in 4 out of their last 5. They're also just 2-5 against the number in their last 7. Now, 4 out of Arizona's last 6 did get over the number. Meanwhile, Gonzaga 5-0 to the over in their last 5 themselves. I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and lean Gonzaga +4 in the over 152 in that game. All right, guys, I'm going to slide my quick pick recap. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are 5-2 straight up in our last 7 board member package plays on that website. I like Gonzaga +4 over 152. Georgia Bulldogs +5 over 156.5. Oklahoma +5 under 139 and a hook. Xavier -5 over 143. Seton Hall -2 over 141.5. UCLA +6 under 138. Memphis +6 under 139. Penn State -10 over 155. Georgetown -3 over 147 and a hook. Oregon +4 over 138. And last but certainly not least, I like Kansas State +3 in the over 126 in that game. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage, where once again, we went 5-2 straight up in our last 7 board member package plays on that website. We're also hitting at 63% in our last 27 board member package plays on that site as well. We do daily premium picks on that site beginning at just $1.99 per month. We also have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Brock, you just handicapped an entire slate of college basketball for free right here on YouTube. Why would I pay for your picks on Patreon? Well, that's a good thought. It's definitely a valid concern. Let me just kind of break it down to you like this. Basically, what we do here on Patreon is we formulate an opinion on every single game on the board, side and total. Now, if you were to bet your hard-earned money on every single game, side and total, it's a formula for losing. It's not a formula for success. It's too many games. The math is against you. The books are too sharp. They're too smart. You simply cannot make money betting every single game side and total. So what we do on Patreon is we really kind of narrow it down and focus in on 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're high percentage selections. They're games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you what, my current Patreon record is a whole lot better than it is on YouTube, throwing darts, handicapping every single game side and total. I know a lot of guys, that do podcasts, they'll take a free pass or they'll handicap a game and say, I'll take the underdog or pass, or this is a stay away game. We don't do that on this channel. We're not going to waste your time. We do formulate an opinion on every single game, but you can't bet every single game with your money. You can't do it in real life. That's what we have Patreon for. We really narrow it down and focus on 3 to 4 premium selections per day. And like I said, if you want to check out my current record, you can do that for free right now. It's right on the homepage. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. But most importantly, guys, I have to thank you for watching me right here on YouTube. I really do hope you enjoy all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Saturday to you. Best of luck to you, and I look forward to seeing you on patreon.com/BrockPage.